Hello, everyone. Thank you very much for joining me. This is your one and only Waka Waka Doctor. Of course, bringing you the best when it comes to migration across the globe. You know how we do it here. If this is your first time of joining me, I want to say welcome. You are not, in a place you don't want to be. This is where we give you the hot gist, the meats of the gist when it comes to traveling abroad. We talk about moving abroad with respect to job opportunities, academic opportunities, whatnot. Irrespective of the country you want to move to, I probably have a video that describes it. So if you're looking for jobs or you're looking to move abroad through the academic route, no matter the country, I've talked about it. All you need to do is go to my YouTube channel and find the video, and you would see what you're looking for. For those who have always been with me from the start, you know how we do is we go straight to the point for you to get the most important things lined up in this gist. Today, we're talking about how to move to Europe for free, for free. And this is no joke. Yes, you can move to Europe for free. You can travel to 3 different countries for free. But there are a few requirements and there's a process, and that's what we want to talk about today. What I usually do is to invite someone who knows about the whole process. And today I've got a friend of mine who's from Kenya. Her name is Unduta Wambura. I'm going to bring her up and we'll just go straight up to it. And she's going to do justice. Okay. So let me bring her up. Unduta is here. Unduta Wambura is here. Yes, for free. You heard that correctly. For free, for free. Travel Europe for free. Hey, how are you doing?
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. I'm fine, thank you. You have
Yes,
you have traveled all across Europe. You are back home, eh?
yes. Just small, nowhere major. I mean, I am just trying to keep up with you, you
What
know.
are you talking about? I was watching your videos. You were just traveling and enjoying yourself and doing as you like.
I try to keep up with you because you've gone to way too much, more than me. So I have to.
You'll get there eventually. You'll get there eventually. Thank you very much for taking out time
Yes,
to do this. I appreciate it. I don't take it for granted. I
thank you.
usually like to keep this, very straight to the point, very short, so that people can get the meat of the gist.
Yes,
Guys, I'm just gonna put a handle here,
yes,
so that you know who exactly she is. Uta Wambura. Okay. That's a handle. You can always send her a DM or talk to her on Instagram if you like. So, Unduta, tell us, who are you? What do
yes,
you do? And
yes.
where are you at the moment?
I consider myself to be someone who wears several hats. So first of all, my name is Nduta Wambura. Some people actually call me Jane. That's my English name, but sometimes I drop it for authenticity's sake or for Kenyan, just to sound more Kenyan anyways. But I wear several hats. One is that I am the country representative for Erasmus for Kenya. And I also work in tech as a day job. And I also have a side job as a dietitian. So I have several things that I do within a day. But all in all, I am in this live video with you just in the capacity of an Erasmus Mundus country representative for Kenya. And of course, to talk about Europe, because I live in Lisbon, Portugal, one of the very most sunniest place on this planet. And, I would love for anyone to come and enjoy the same because I fell in love with this country because of Erasmus. So that is why
Fantastic.
I'm so passionate about it. Yeah.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And we've talked about this a couple of times, and I know that Erasmus Mundus gave you the opportunity to move abroad from Kenya,
Yeah,
right? And
absolutely.
like I said during my introduction, I saw you traveling up and down Europe, so
Yeah.
you've been enjoying yourself. Tell us exactly, what is this Erasmus Mundus? I've heard about it several
Yeah.
times, and it blows my mind all the time that you
Yeah.
can travel to Europe
Yes.
for free. So
Yes.
tell us exactly, what is Erasmus Mundus?
Wow. So Erasmus Mundus is one of the best programs that you can join. It's an European Union funded master's program that lies under the umbrella, which is Erasmus Plus. So there is what we call Erasmus Plus, and you might see it online. Erasmus Plus is a program that was established back in 1987. And under Erasmus Plus, we have several funding opportunities for which Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters programs lie. So there are several other programs that you can actually apply for under Erasmus Plus, be it, youth programs, they could be sports programs, Jean Monnet programs, etc., etc. But the easiest one for someone who is foreign looking towards coming to Europe, Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters programs would be one of the most prestigious programs that you can apply for. So it's a master's program that, has had a lot of restructuring since it was established, and it's still the same good program. And I'm happy to really tell you more about it. It is not Erasmus Mundus. Most people will always be like, is it Erastus? Is it Marasmus? Is it, I don't know what it is, but Erasmus is actually an acronym that, connotates about the mobility of students in Europe, worldwide. So it's open for anyone who is anywhere on this globe. Yeah.
So I heard that if you win this scholarship, you can travel 2-3 countries in Europe.
Yeah.
Tuition covered,
Yes.
accommodation covered, monthly stipend. What are the benefits of this? Tell us.
Yes, absolutely. So the first thing is that for you to be able to apply for an Erasmus Mundus Joint Masters Program, you would need to have completed your bachelor's degree, or if you've already done a first master's, that's okay. You can do a second master's as well, because some of the programs usually allow for someone who has already done a master's. We even have some people who've done PhDs, who come to do another master's just because they really want to study. But yeah, the thing is, for Erasmus, they pretty much accept people globally if you have completed an undergraduate degree, and if you show that you do have the experience that they are looking for, depending on whether that is volunteering experience, that is work experience. It could be pretty much depending on what field you have been doing, whatever you've been doing after you finished your undergraduate. So usually the programs would open every single year from September all the way to March. And so the thing is, obviously, because not all programs will have the same deadlines or the same opening, periods. So it's very important for someone who is interested in this program to check the catalog and check each of the programs and be able to see when each of the program opens for application and closes for the application. Because some programs, you might find them, they actually open in September and then they will close the application perhaps in December or January. Others will open in November, closing application in February, and so on and so forth. So not all programs have the same deadlines. That's very crucial to notice. So the thing to do for sure is, you're doing this live at the very right time, because we are end of July going into August, and so most of the programs will open for application in September. So this is the right time to go there on the catalog and see which programs you might be interested in. Take your time, read through each of the programs, and be able to see the requirements that are stipulated there so that you can begin preparing. And of course, the first thing to have is a passport. So I hope your listeners have passports already. You have preached this a lot. Waka
Yes,
waka.
of course. I've talked about it. They need to have their passports.
Yeah.
You talked about this website. What's the website for the catalog, or what's it called? Is there a website?
Yes, absolutely. And I can add it here on the comments. It's the Erasmus Joint Masters Program catalog. Pretty much if you type that on Google, it should show up as the first, link. And perhaps you can also pin it here to be able to see whether someone can be able to check it out. I'm just going to write it on the comment section, and hopefully somebody can be able to look into that. Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. There are a couple of questions here that I want to ask, and as a country representative, I'm sure you'll be able to have the answers to that. Some
Yeah.
people have, second class lower in their
Yes.
bachelor's degree, and
Yeah.
some people don't even have bachelor's, they have HNDs and
Okay.
higher national diploma. In the
Yes.
past, I used to know that if you have a higher national diploma, you can qualify for it.
Yes.
Is this still the case? Is it still possible?
That is really dependent on a program, because some programs will be very specific. Some programs will be saying that, you know what, we only want anyone who's done their bachelor's degree and have gotten a second class upper as well as a first class degree. However, there are some programs which might have the caveat that, you know what, we could take someone who has an HND like you guys have in Nigeria. And however, it is very, very dependent on the program. So you have to check through and see whether this is something that can be taken up as well. Feel free to send an email to the consortiums, because they will reply to you to tell you whether you actually could apply for a certain program with your HND or your diploma. There are very few of them that you can actually apply for with a HND or a diploma, but it is worth asking. It is definitely worth asking. Yeah.
So if I hear you correctly, you've told us
Yeah.
now that the Erasmus Mundus, you need your international passport, you need your transcripts for your
Yeah.
previous degree or
Yes.
a master's or higher national diploma, if that's what you've got. You
Yeah.
need to also have a CV, correct? You need a
Yes.
CV. Okay, you need
Yes.
to you need to have your CV. Is there a need for IELTS or anything like that?
Yes, absolutely. So you've mentioned very well the passport, you need your CV, you need a CV that is, usually we recommend that you have your CV written in a Europass format. It's not usually mandatory for all programs to have your CV on a Europass format, but it is recommended because in Europe, that is what is recognized. You also need to have a statement of purpose. You need to also have recommendation letters. And usually the programs will stipulate what type of recommendation letters, whether they want you to upload that recommendation letter or they want those who are recommending you to actually upload the letter themselves. You also would need, of course, your transcripts, your bachelor's certificate. You also would need, in some cases, you might need an English test. However, you can ask for a waiver from any of the consortiums or any of the programs. You can let them know that, hey, you know what, I studied in English for my undergraduate. Is it possible for you to waive for me not to do the English test and maybe give a letter that is signed by your university saying that you studied in English? This is something that can be done. And however, most of the programs will ask for an English test, the IELTS test, or any other type of test that they might be interested in. So each of these requirements are stipulated in each of the program websites. I cannot
Okay.
overemphasize that. Yeah.
Let me ask you now, this Erasmus Mundus, like we said, gives you an opportunity to travel. Is it 2 countries in Europe or 3 countries? 2.
Okay, so it really depends again on the program. So there is a caveat where the minimum would be 2 countries and a maximum of 4. Sometimes it might increase to 5, depending on the program, because some programs might have even internships. So you might find, like, for example, we have a very interesting master's, European Masters in African Studies, whereby of course, the master's program is for 2 years. The first semester is in Portugal, in Porto. Second semester is in Germany. The third semester, you actually, between the second and the third semester, you get to have an opportunity to do an internship in an African country. So you might choose either South Africa, Nigeria, Kenya, wherever you want to do that internship. Then you come back and do the third semester perhaps in France. And then the fourth semester, you can choose to go back to either Portugal, Germany, or France, depending on your supervisor. So that is also
Okay.
another thing. So it's a minimum of 2 countries and a maximum of 4 or 5
4 or
countries.
5.
And this is going to change drastically because we have a new phase of Erasmus, which is going to be very exciting as well. Yeah.
Wow. And if I do get the Erasmus, for instance, or
Yeah.
anybody gets the Erasmus, can they move with family?
Good question. Very good question. So this again really downs to an individual. So for example, if you have a family that maybe you're going to a country that can allow them to have what we call, for example, a D7 visa, which, you know, you can show that you can take care of yourself. Erasmus will not necessarily actually be able to give you some sort of stipend or whatever it is for your family. It's just going to be you, yourself, and you. However, if your spouse, for instance, can be able to show that they can take care of themselves, or maybe they have a job that they can work remotely in the country that you're going to, then they could potentially apply for.
So Erasmus is only going to pay for you. They're not going to pay for
Yes.
your
No.
okay. Okay.
No.
So,
Yeah.
Unduta, I want you to walk us through the process because people want to know how they can apply for this. What's the process
Yeah.
like? How can they go through it from start to finish?
Oh, wow. Yeah. So, like any other scholarship, you know, it takes work and time and patience and resilience, really. So, the first process is to go to the catalog, identify which programs that you would be interested in. The good thing is that you no longer just need to apply for 3 programs, you can apply for more programs. So identify the list of the programs that you qualify for depending on your experience, your background, and what you actually want to do in the future. Now, once you identify these 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 programs, then go through the program website thoroughly to check what do they want, what is the eligibility criteria, what are they trying to see, you know, on the statement of purpose, because that is a make or break thing that can, you know, for any Erasmus program. What do they want to see as your motivation? And what are you also bringing into that program? So once you identify the eligibility criteria of the programs you're interested in, then now it's up to you to start doing the work. Write your CV, ask for recommendations from potential people who are key in your life. They could be lecturers, they could be people who actually are mentors to you, depending on you, obviously. And then now, after that is obviously to wait for the application period to open. If it is open, then you know, it's for you to put in the application. Of course, it's very important for you to have someone to look at your statement of purpose or your CV or your general application, just to give you a few pointers here and there. And so once you do that, it's up to you to go ahead and all the way to the submission process, because it's for free. It's for free.
For free. Yeah, for
Yeah,
free.
yeah,
Okay, 2 more questions I want to ask you. Is there
yeah.
an age limit? Is there an age limit for application? And secondly, if we do get this Erasmus Mundus, say I qualify for Erasmus Mundus and I chose maybe Sweden or Norway or Italy, for instance, can I work while I study?
Good question. One, there's no age limit. In fact, we have a joke that we say that the oldest Erasmus student was, I think, 87 years old. So I don't know, you know, there's no limit, honestly. So that's a good thing. Plus, and then again, it's about working in a different in the country that you go to. That is really dependent on the immigration process and the immigration rules of that country, because some countries will give you a residence permit that perhaps allows you some few hours to work, but not all actually do that. However, it's very crucial to notice that, you know, you do not need to necessarily work, because Erasmus is going to take care of your monthly stipend, and it's going to take care of your mobility as well. We will now have a stipend of 1,400 as opposed to what we used to have, €1,000. So like, depending on the program as well, the thing is, with Erasmus, they will immerse you into a lot of work in terms of the study, in terms of what you need to do within the program. So sometimes you might not have that time to work. However, if you do have that time, depending on your program, then it's very crucial to check the immigration requirements of the country that you're into, whether they allow you perhaps maybe 2 hours or 3 hours to work as you study. But this is something that is dependent on case by case. So it's not like
It's by
something that,
case.
yeah, exactly.
Okay. So if
Yeah.
I get you correctly, what we've been talking about is how to move to Europe for free. And The way to do it, Unduta has been talking to us about the Erasmus Mundus program, which is a program that allows you travel to at least 2 countries in Europe while you study.
Yeah,
And she did say that the requirements would be that you need your international passport, you need your previous degree, whether a bachelor's, whether it's a master's, whether it's a higher national diploma by HND. Even if you have a 2-2, second class lower, you can still qualify. You need
yeah,
your CV in Europass format, you need recommendation letter, you need a statement of purpose, and you need IELTS or a letter stating that you were taught in English. She
yeah.
did say that there is no age limit. There is no age limit at all. You can travel 2 to 5 countries, okay? If you get it. You can move with your family depending on the country you choose, and you can also work depending on the country you live during that program. And she said that the process is to just go to Google, type in Erasmus Mundus catalog, and you would go through, it will give you a list of all the courses. You can
Yeah.
choose about 2 or 3 of them that you want. Yeah, that's the Erasmus Mundus catalog. Go through the process. I will put the link in the description box of this video so you can go through it. Go through the requirements of each course. You can choose about 3, 4, 5 of them,
Yeah.
upload the documents that are required and then submit it, and that's it. Wow,
Yes.
wow, wow. This is fantastic. It has benefits like, they pay for your flights, they pay for your
Yeah.
accommodation, they give
Yes.
you monthly stipend of 1,400 euros. Do they feed you?
Good question. So I think do you know, you will come to Europe and you will immerse yourself into a different culture. So that is up to you what you want to buy, what you want, whether you want some bacalhau from Portugal or you want some fries from the Netherlands. I don't know what is up to, you would love, but there's you can also have some jollof, you can cook some goat depending on you. So that's the thing. So
Fantastic.
yeah, but I mean the stipend that they give you. So for now, you will notice that some programs will continue with their €1,000 stipend every month, and then they will give you some transport allowance as well as installation fees, which is equates to about €4,000 per year of study. So and so the movement from the €1,000 stipend is going to move to 1,400 flat rate without any travel as well as installation cost. So
Fantastic.
you will find different programs doing different things, but however you will be good to go. This is an opportunity for you for sure. Yeah.
Fantastic. And she did say that this program starts in September. So, guys, I would say look for Unduta Wambura. She's on Instagram, she's on Twitter. It's
Yeah.
NDUTAWAMBURA. You can
Yes.
follow her, send her DMs. She's the country representative for Kenya, and I'm sure she can answer loads of questions, irrespective of the country you've come from.
Yeah.
Unduta Wambura, thank you very much for joining us. I always like to
Thank
keep
you.
this very, very short and straight to the point, and you've dropped a lot of gems.
Yes.
We'll do this some other time. I'm sure that there are still amazing
Absolutely.
topics we'll do and talk
Yeah.
about. Thank you very much for coming. So,
Yeah.
guys, make sure you get that unlocked and apply for your Erasmus Mundus program so that we
Yeah.
can see you in Europe. Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
I'll see you some other time.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. Bye.